to Akulmach Live. I am Kanchan Verma, and today in this episode, we will be talking about yet another subject of public relations. Now, today we'll be talking about very interesting topic, which is a political PR, and we have an expert, Ritu Gupta. So I would like to welcome her. Ritu, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Kanchan. I'm absolutely fine, and it feels so wonderful to be back on your show again. Thank you so much.
Well, for past many weeks, we are discussing few crucial aspects of public relation, and today we will be discussing about political public relation, which is a very hot cake. So, before we start, I would like to understand for our viewers what you really mean when we talk about political public relation. Do politicians and political party require a public relations?
Yes, Kanchan. The politicians, the political parties, they require public relations, and political public relation is very much popular in India. Let's say from the mid of the 90s to the present time, the two biggest party of this country, they have two different big agencies, and political PR is very much required if you really want to sell off your manifesto to the people, if you really want to gather the public, goodwill for your politicians, for your political party, you have to do public relations.
Well, I have seen many times on television that all political spokesmen and say, no, we are not into public relation activity. We don't advertise because for us, people's goodwill is more than enough. And on the basis of the goodwill and the mind share of the people, we get the votes. So how correct they are?
They're very much being present on various political discussions on different channels. They giving interviews on TV is a very much part of public relations. It's a very much part. And when we do PR, the two big political parties of this country, let's say BJP and the Congress, they have two big PR agencies. I will not name them, but everyone knows about those two big PR agencies. When these PR agencies, they draft plans for them. They draft for 12 months. Every time, after every 12 months, their strategy changes, and then keeping in the mind whether some elections are coming in some state, or whether they are going to take up some new thought, new process, or they are going to take up some new idea to spread among the people. For example, the polio drops. If any political party is supporting any kind of polio drop campaign, if they are supporting Corona, COVID, they are doing something for COVID, they will speak about it, and the public relations, they decide what to speak, where to speak, who all are the good speakers. And when the good speakers, they come on any kind of debate, they are being prepared. They are being told what to speak, how much to speak, and what are the issues they have to stress upon. For example, in 2010, the country was getting prepared. The country was being introduced to Shri Narendra Modi as the future Prime Minister of India. So that time, a big PR agency of England, of UK, it was signed, and that PR agency decided about Leher, Achhe Din. So the Leher, Modi Leher, and the Achhe Din, they were the terms which are being used to promote Shri Narendra Modi. And these 2 points, the two issues, these two important aspects were very helpful in generating goodwill of the public for Shri Narendra Modi. So the political parties are all doing PR. And this is the need of the hour. Why not? You should do PR. If you want to be popular among the people, how would you make yourself popular? So you have to do PR. And it's a very good thing.
Well, what happens for a layman, a person will think, because all politicians, they have a direct contact to the people. They go in their constituencies and they address, and they have been doing for so long. So in a way, it is a direct contact with the people on a daily basis sometimes. Now, with the television and radio and social media, again, they are interacting on daily basis. Now, you said that we started public relations relation in mid 90s or somewhere. But I think the public relation in that sense was always present before that. But what has changed after the social media has come? So what are those few points which were missing because I would like to understand for my audience, because political companies or political parties, they are already with a direct contact with the people. And through that, so in the era of Indira Gandhi, she was in direct contact with the people. But was she following a public relation portfolio or public relation plan? Or now in social media, what has changed now? So I would like to just understand that.
Okay, during the time of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, she was a very popular leader. She was a very popular leader all over the globe, and she was doing public relations. But you know, Kanchan, in 60s and 70s, until the time she was alive in 80s, there was no particular professional PR which was being followed. There was no particular professional PR. But if you say that the politicians, they would visit people, they would visit their constituency, talk to the people, yes, that was being done. But they were doing only during some months, during some limited time period. But now, every voter, the general public is very much in direct contact with politicians on the Twitter, on the Facebook account, on the Instagram, and also on the apps. Some of the politicians, they have their own personal apps also. The government of India has got its own app also. And also the advertisements which are being run, and the advertisements which you see throughout in the city also. So these are all strategy of public relations, which was not there during the time of Mrs. Gandhi. Mrs. Gandhi was very much ahead of her time as far as, the way she would dress up, the way she would talk to people. But that was it. So time has changed, things have changed, people have become more, most of the people, they have smartphones. So the politicians, they are connected to the public through the phones. So the apps are being developed. So the government of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, the defense ministry, all these people, they have got their own apps where people, they can go directly see what they are doing. They can directly question them and they get the answers also. They have got any queries. They want to file some complaint. So they go and do all these things. So this is what public relations is all about. And, all the time now, when we open the apps, we get various kinds of WhatsApp messages also, where we are told about Desh Bhakti, we are told about terrorism, we are told about certain things, certain ideas, certain thoughts, which we never knew about. Why? Because this is all public relations. When we open certain things, we get detailed information. So this is now available to us. If I want to read about certain politician, I can just go read about him or her on Wikipedia, and then I can decide whether I want to vote for him or her. So this is what public relations is all about nowadays.
Well, you see, you are very right. Public relation agencies and even advertising agency, they have emerged very fast during late 90s and 2000. And now this is a very, very specialized workforce which people hire,
Yes.
companies and the individual hire these professionals, and they are highly qualified professional also in any of the segment like public relation or advertising, even marketing. But now I would like to ask you that though we have a agency, we have a specialized people, but there is a sudden change. There is a sudden transfer of public relation activities, the way we were doing post social media, pre social media. I mean. So what has changed with the emergence of social media? Because I have seen many campaigns being done on social media, and of course physically also the old style is also used when we are taking up any plan of not only the political party but for any individual also, for any film also. So when we are talking about political parties, in view of this, what has changed when we are talking about emergence of social media and public relation for political parties or political leaders?
So the social media now has made people more aware. People have got so much of information. People have different views. Some people, they support certain parties. Some people, they support certain party. They have become more educated. They debate on the issues, and they are very much aware who they want their representative in the government of India. So they're very clear. This is there because all the political parties, they have their websites, they have their speakers, the spokesperson coming on various TV shows. Those things are being run on YouTube also, so you can again see it as many number of times as you want to. And in Delhi, in Delhi, in all the big states, what the chief minister has done, what the chief minister is not doing, it's all available on social media, on different portals, different apps. The working of the politicians have become more professional now. They have become more professional because they know that they can be questioned. So they have become more professional. They are working more like corporates. So it's very good. I think it's a very good change. And you see all these politicians, they have become literate also, that they know how to run their Twitter handles and various other things. In case some of them do not know, they hire the outside agency to do so. So all these people, they have become very much image conscious because whatever said and done, from early 19, since the time the multinational companies, they ventured in the India, people have become more educated. People, they have the power of spending the money also. So this has changed the attitude of politicians also, because they know they can be questioned anytime, and no one wants to be questioned. They want to have good image. So the social media has given power to the general masses, that they can get connected to any person, any politician, even to the Prime Minister of India on various portals. They can just get connected to him and he answers their question. He definitely answers their question. So it is there. So this is what public relations has done. And let me tell you, Kanchan, the political PR is a very professional PR right now, very, very professional. The specialized people, they are venturing into political public relations, and the good journalists, the famous journalists, they are also in political public relations.
Now, since we are discussing about the political parties and their public relation plan, so I think it is good to ask you that how these plans are made. I mean, how a political party, suppose now UP elections are coming.
Yes.
So suppose for if we had to plan, maybe let's discuss a dummy public relation plan, which we can tell viewers how the public relation plan for political parties in key facts are taken care when we are discussing or implementing any public relation plan for upcoming election, or otherwise for any announcement of a goodwill gesture which is done by the government.
So, like, let's say the Punjab elections and UP elections are coming. And last 1 year we all are facing the difficult times of COVID. So during these times, the social media has played a very important role for Punjab and UP also. Most of the political parties platform to get connected to people about the manifestos they are going to launch. Now, from last 4 years, the ruling is really working hard so that they can get good chunk of votes. So they are giving stress on Ram Mandir, on different votes. And UP has been rated as the #1 city of the country right now. So this is a PR strategy. UP has definitely become the #1 city in the country. ruling party has got an upper hand right now. So I really don't know what's going to happen after 2-3 months when the people will actually go and vote. But definitely this is all PR plan and PR strategies. And the chief minister, his team, his people who are working on the ground level, they have to really work hard to get connected to the people, to give them the right information and collect the feedback from them, give it to the advertising and the PR agencies so that they draft the message, the plan, which can be run, there on different TV channels, on radio, on different broadcast media, newspaper. You have to brainwash people. What is PR? PR is basically image building. PR for people are image consultants. So you have to make image of certain person, certain political party in front of the people.
Well, lastly, I would like to ask you, though, I mean, all plans are all set and all specialized people are there to work on the plan, especially for political public relations, because that is very crucial and it's very competitive also at the same time. Now, there are very important question which I would like to ask you, that there is one PR activity which is being done, but then another parallel PR which is not PR but parallel information which is being generated. We generally say it is a fake news or fake information. So, so does a public relation really fight at this point of time circulation of fake news or fake information to the public? Is this a task of public relation, or is this a responsibility of public relation? Any public relation agency or party is responsible for circulating a fake narrative or would be charged for that? Is any possibilities there, or any thing any public relation agency can do regarding this?
Yes, Kanchan. Some PR agencies, they get involved in unethical practices, which is very bad. Getting involved in unethical practices is very bad. You should always show good about yourself, but do not, degrade the other political party. But which is being done by most of the people, most of the political party, whosoever they are. But it is a very short phase. Spreading the fake news, it is a short phase. It does affect the people. It does really affect their mind. But then people, they do get to know that what is right, what is wrong. People do get to know, because I see nowadays, I see even a child of 13, 14 years, the child who is in 8th, 9th, 10th standard, do read newspaper. Even the kids, they do their analysis, news analysis. They think, they read news in certain paper, then they see the news on certain channel, and then they think that both the news are different. It's talking about the same topic, but the presentation is different. So they understand what is right, what is wrong. The parents are very much, are friendly with their kids. They do have various kind of discussions with their kids, and it's a very healthy thing to talk to your kids about certain things which are happening in the country, around the globe. So people are doing the analysis. They do understand what is the fake news, and public relations agencies should not get involved in the unethical practices, but sometimes they do get involved, which is not right. But then this is happening. This is the truth of the hour.
So that means, in a way, the listeners or listening's mind should be more proactive to really understand between the lines what is being messages being given. And I think time has come that people have started realizing that what is right and what is wrong. So though PR agencies are working, but they are making a good plan for political parties, and most of the time these PR agencies are really cooperating and informing people about the needs of political parties and the good work they have done. And I think it should be told in whatever means. And since social media is there and they are connected through mobile, so the information travels fast, very fast. So, in the last, I just want to
Yes.
ask you any last thought you would like to share with our audience regarding a political PR and maybe do's and don'ts for our audience, what they should do.
Yes.
They should glue to the television whole day and how it should be, and or they should see the correct knowledge from whatever knowledge which is being circulated. What is your advice?
Okay. So I'm sure that many of your viewers are young kids also, the young students, the youth of country. So if they want to get into political PR, I will definitely suggest them to be journalists first. A good journalist is always a good political PR person. So if you should spend some time in journalism, do hardcore reporting, go do the groundwork and then get into the political PR. And as for the fake news, people, they should not just rely on one channel or one newspaper. They should read news on different media and they should analyze the news also. They should know what is right, what is correct, and above all these things, they should love their country. Anything which is going against the country is not right for the country. It's very important.
So, as usual, it was so wonderful to talk to you yet again today. And we'll be meeting again with more thought-provoking ideas and how to utilize public relation in those segments, in those areas. So, till then, bye-bye and you take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care. Thank you. Nice talking with you, Kanchan.
Hello, friends. COP26 is going on in Glasgow. There are a lot of decisions to be made in order to protect our environment, and a lot of discussions happened for past 2 weeks. Finally, the meeting is coming to an end. There were draft presented, and there were draft what was also discussed among people, the member countries. The India and China are, in addition to other 21 countries, are part of like-minded developing countries. And so far, the bone of contention in terms of bringing the whole global community on a agreement has been that since the time of industrial revolution, the developed countries have been spoiling the nature. They have been adding the coal fire and the gases produced into the atmosphere, and that has created a situation where our temperature is going to increase by 2.7 degrees, and that is creating global warming. So now to sort of say that, hey, everyone is responsible and you guys are adding to the environment, it's not true. So this is where the disagreement happened. I'm very, very happy to bring this to your notice that finally the agreement is in sight, where the committee has considered India's point of view, which are basically three. Now, if you look at the major pollution, these are three things which brings major pollution. One is the thermonuclear, thermal electric power plants. These thermal electric power plants burn coal and produce electricity. So, what are the options? You have other options like solar and all that, and also nuclear power, which is clean, which is supposed to be clean, but it has a lot of hazards in terms of in case there is an accident in nuclear power. So I think we will not go there, but let's stick to these three areas. So one is the thermal power generation, second is the airlines, and third is the personal cars. So these are the major contributors of pollution into the atmosphere. So while India as a country is doing a lot with especially large population base, and a major chunk of the population is living below poverty line. So India has done in the past 4 5 years or 7 years, they have brought all these poor people by providing them LPG connections, heavily subsidized, so that they can move away from burning biomass into LPG, which is less polluting. While this is subsidized and it is less polluting, as per the COP26 agenda, to get out of the fossil fuel completely is not practical, not viable, and it can be done in a phased manner, because as a country like India, we have brought certain people to a level. Now we have to take the other level, attain the other level of net zero. And with 1.3 billion people, it is not something like you can do just like that. It has to be planned. It has to be done gradually. And India has about 20% population of the world, a substantial population, and therefore there are two things which have been agreed now, which is bring down the target of 2.7 degrees to 1.5 degrees as per India. Because India is saying that it has to be done in a phased manner, considering a huge chunk of population that resides in India. The second one is reducing the carbon emission, uh, and also helping developing countries. There has to be a fund created, and the fund will be created by the developed countries. And earlier, the fund was, as per the Paris discussion few years back, the fund was also agreed upon, but that was a piddly amount of $100 billion, which is nothing. So India has been saying that you should create as quickly as possible a fund of $1 trillion, and that can be utilized to fund the developing countries without hampering their growth, because now it's their time to grow, and you can't say, hey, don't grow because you're going to spoil the environment. We will actually adapt to a lot of these technologies which are available, and therefore these two conditions have been agreed. So now the agreement which is coming out from COP26 is visible. It is going to be a reality. That means the world is going to gradually reduce their carbon emission. All of us, all, whether you're developing countries or developed countries, migrate to solar or hydropower to generate your electricity. These are the main things. And as it is, traveling is reduced because of COVID. But I think we need to adapt newer technology to travel between country A to country B, because these aeroplanes which are running currently on the jet fuel are the one of the biggest contributor to the pollution. So we need to get to new technology using electricity or whatever, because there are a lot of development already going on. So considering the progress, the COP26 showed the way that this is something that which we agree on, and the India's point of view has been inserted in the final draft, which is creation of a 1 trillion fund, environment fund, by the developed countries, and the target of achieving net zero or 2.7 degrees increase in temperature brought down to 1.5 degrees, and so that the move away strategy from burning fossil fuel to electricity, etc., can be done in a very phased manner. Friends, do write in your comment. This is an important subject, and I will respond to each one of you, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Good morning, friends. This is Chandra from Akulmach Technologies, and this morning I welcome you graciously to our show called Top Brass Likeable Leaders. Good morning, friends. This is Chandra from Akulmach Technologies, and I graciously invite you to our show about skills gap that exists in India. And today we have very eminent personality on our show to discuss about this particular aspect, that is Mr. Naval Gant. Hello friends, this is Chandrakant from Akulmach Technologies. Welcome to Top Brass. And today we have the CEO Roundtable, and let me quickly welcome our guests. Our guests are joining from all over the world. In fact, our roundtable is truly global. Our first guest is from UK, the CEO and Chairman of Mindfit Limited, Mr. Naval Gone.
Hi everybody.
Second guest joins us from Singapore, CEO of Career Zoom, Ms. Farida Charania.
Hi.
And our third guest is from India, CEO of Akulmach Technologies, Ms. Kanchan Verma.
Hello.
And our last guest is from India, from a very enterprising company called Single Point Solution. They are involved in the electric vehicle manufacturing and setup. I graciously welcome the CEO of Single Point Solution, Mr. Satya Madala.
Yeah, hi everybody.
So good morning, everyone. And today's topic of discussion is, lately we have been seeing that a lot of people are putting their courses free on the digital platforms. So these courses are sometimes free and sometimes they are charged. But, lately we have been saying for last almost a month that a lot of things are available. Hey, you join this webinar, it's free. And hey, you read about this particular, how to do a lead generation on LinkedIn, it's free. These kind of things I see almost 3 to 4 times in every day. So since all of us are CEOs of various organizations, wanted to know whether these free courses or these career coach can add value to your organization or not. So I start with Neville. What is your opinion, Neville?
Well, the simple answer is, of course, they can add value. However, the problem we've got with all of this is, like everyone here, I get inundated with these so-called free opportunities in my inbox, in my WhatsApp chats, from LinkedIn. I'm quite happy to receive them all because I'm interested in what people are saying. What is it about them that they can entertain my time just in an email or in a little chat on LinkedIn or on Twitter? Can they capture my imagination? Can they capture my thoughts? Because what they're saying has interest for me. And the problem I see all the time is it's always got interest for them. And it's got relatively no interest for anybody else, apart from those people that are desperate and are looking for something for free. So I have consulting hasn't really changed. Whether it's coaching or whether it's an accountant, you always get this free 30-minute interview. Whether it was prior to COVID and it was physical, or now post-COVID it's digital, there is this concept of free. But what my appeal to everyone out there that's doing this is, think of who you're saying it to, what's in it for them. Not for you, it's what's in it for them. So there's my 2 pence to start it off. Sounds a bit negative, really, for a Friday morning, for a CEO roundtable. But let's make it a bit more positive.
Well, Neville, I think you raised a very good point, but it is not negative at all. I think it's a very good advice that, we should not undervalue our coaching, whoever that person is. There has to be some value attached to it. So moving on, Satya, Neville has made a very good point. And you run a very high-tech kind of organization, and you require a lot of support from people at different times, either from employees or also from external consultants. So do you think these kind of free courses can help you build your organization?
First of all, we need to appreciate the people who is calling for and conducting the webinars on technologies. So actually, I gone through few of the webinars actually on a free and a premium. The thing is like when you are approaching with free courses, actually, it is not much useful for our industry. So wherein actually, some of the webinars just they touch base with the technology and, moving up. And, if the candidate or anybody who is watching that webinar, so simply just they're, connecting with the basics and just simply, logging out from the webinar. But my view in this case is just the people who is conducting this webinars on a technology, so they need to concentrate and they need to provide a good content, even if it is free also. Just if they can provide a useful content industry, that would be a much better for the for the industry and for the person who is attending. So when the people when anybody attending that interview means 30 minutes or 40 minutes, okay, whatever it is, just they're affording the time. So that means actually they need to give a value to that time what they're affording. So my view is just the people who is conducting this webinars, they need to concentrate more on premium content. That's what my view.
I think very well point that you have made, because I think in today's world we are not looking for some scratch the surface kind of stuff. We need some real help as organizations.
Yes.
So there is a time when the consultant is hired from from the industry, and then the consultant has to give value, and we are willing to pay that value. However, there are some professional conduct that is required at different touch points. So Kanchan, suppose you engage with a process consultant, for instance, and process is not a one-day job. Nobody can teach in a course, but now we see that people are training processes, business processes, and all kinds of processes. So what do you expect, in terms of the professional conduct of such coach, industry coach?
I would like to say before I come to your question is that now due to digitization, there's a lot of practice which is required to the end user also. So if you are getting a free course, that is kind of an advantage to the end user to really understand that these courses can be understood and can be taught like this. So I'm kind of saying that I'm 100% agreed to provide the free courses to the end users. Second point is that we whatever courses which are being provided on net, it should have a learning outcome. So anything which is without learning outcome, and anyways, if it is free, the end user or the users will not use it, or maybe that company will go on, they will close their doors on digitally. So what I feel is that I feel that online courses which are being provided free, it is a beginning of a new golden era, and it should continue, because I've seen many companies who provide for 6 months a free, or 1 month or 2 months small courses for free, and then if they want to any end user want to enroll, they are charging for technical or for more advanced courses. So I think this is a better way of going on these platform and getting know-how how it is done, and getting the knowledge also for the end user. Now third point about the processes is that we should hire a coach which is required for certain vertical, what we require. So we have to identify, we have, as an organization, we have to be very serious what type of coach we are seeking, and what type of course we are providing to our users.
So now there is a contradiction in the panel. Kanchan says that it is good, it is okay to offer free courses, because that is your a brochure sort of thing to the world.
So,
No,
Farid,
I said that it is to begin with. It's not that we will be providing all courses, advanced courses for free. But then this is a practice to end user to have feel of digitization in education.
great. So, Farida, what is your point in terms of, in case if you have to engage with a professional coach or a career coach, and since you work with a lot of organizations because of the nature of the business that your company indulge in, what is your opinion?
I couldn't get your question. What is opinion on this particular online free courses? You mean?
No, my question was to Farida.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Firstly, it's actually quite fresh to hear different perspectives, because I online coaching webinars, it's not new. It's been going on for many years. Like for instance, Microsoft does a lot of webinars, and they a lot of their training is imparted through the digital medium. Now, I tend to agree with Kanchan that these trainings and these courses, for the right kind of audience, it's a good way to start, because it's kind of a taster into what is next. And then if you are happy with that 1 hour of engagement and you think it's going to add value, then as a person who is actually attending that online training or webinar, can then engage further. So in a way, it's good to kind of assess whether it is for you or not. Secondly, you do, because of this COVID situation, we started seeing a lot of it. Now, a lot of people who are actually, conducting these webinars or free trainings, uh, and most of them actually the content is pretty good, because I have attended a few of these. Um, and because I was very selective about what I attended, but the content was really good. I think the problem is that everyone is trying to build a community, because they think that communities are valuable, which they are. But if everybody is going to start building their own community, the value diminishes. Because if you look at a large community like LinkedIn or something similar, the community is already there. So the what I understand from people who are conducting these courses or these webinars, they want to create a community and then at some stage start commercializing it. So this is my understanding. Now, I speak to a lot of people from a lot of different industries with different backgrounds. I speak to people who are seeking employment. I speak to people who have been laid off. I speak to people who are looking at hiring, and I see different expectations from these trainings. Someone who's lost their job because of the COVID situation is expecting miracles, because they are desperate. They need to find something to sustain themselves. So their expectation is that with this training they will be able to do very well in interviews and they will be able to get a job. Someone who is probably uh, engaging in these online trainings and webinars is also because a lot of people are working from home, and perhaps this is their only window into the outside world. Because for me, I speak to my 7-year-old most of the times. So when I don't want to speak like a child, I speak to you guys. Yeah. So I think there is a similar expectation. And with companies, when they are running these online trainings and webinars, is to make sure that one, they are engaging their team, because everybody is working from home and it becomes very difficult to continue that engagement without physical contact, because our brains are trained that way. And secondly, they are also trying to finish off certain mandatory trainings, because otherwise people are very busy and they say, oh, I'm traveling, I can't do it. But now it's an opportunity. So companies are also doing that. In fact, I've attended about 6 trainings from Microsoft in the recent times, which are across marketing, leveraging your network, etc. And those are very, very good quality trainings.
I think I tend to agree to what Farida has said because I know for sure that these big corporations like Microsoft, Microsoft announced last month that globally they will train 25 million people globally, and it's all free. So they themselves are offering free coaches, and they are coming from the Microsoft education department. Similarly, IBM recently tied up with National Skill Development Corporation in India, and they want to impart free digital training, digital skills training to the Indians who doesn't have those skills. And that's all coming under IBM Watson program, which is also free. So I think the competition in the free arena is also heating up. So Neville, although it's free, but it is still competitive.
Well, you see, the interesting thing is we've got a diverse range of people here, you know, working in different arenas. Satya's talking about very technical support, okay? That's a very specific arena, and he's not talking about general technical support. He's talking about specific technical support in the EV arena. Well, it probably doesn't exist because EV is very new. So calling all coaches out there that are looking to go and help EV, get out there, but specify EV. What have you got to offer in that technical arena? Kemchen was talking a little bit about education, another specialist type of arena. But even with education, we've got preschool, we've got junior school, primary school, we've got private school, we've got public school, we've got secondary school, we've got university, we've got college, we've got further education. And again, that's education, and I've only just touched the exterior of the surface here. What we need to be doing is being very specific. And as Farida was saying, I'm a business coach, and I would advise people, create your market, create your niche, create your community. But by the way, look at the communities that are already there. Facebook has got fantastic communities. You know, they're either very local, downtown Singapore, or they're very technical, downtown digital Singapore. You know, there are thousands of communities out there. LinkedIn has got groups that have been brought up from nothing, and there are hundreds of thousands of people already out there. So I don't think it's an issue of being free and of no value, or being free and of huge value. It's actually, who are you talking to? Why have you got something to say? And I think the rush for digital, remember, we're 6 months into COVID. It's here for a long, long time. We're going to be digital forever. But the rush that I've seen people go onto YouTube through these mediums, through these free, I mean, we're using a free package. Would we pay for it if we had to pay for it? That's a big question, isn't it? But the point is, everybody does things that aren't free, really, but what is the value? The value to the other person has to be of immense value. Otherwise, why connect? So I'll go back to more or less what I said at the beginning. Be very specific who you're talking to. The reason why Microsoft is so successful is that everyone knows what Microsoft is. It's a digital platform. They are teaching digital technical skills. And we all know about the Microsoft package, you know, MS Word, MS Excel, etc., etc., etc. We all know what they are. The thing about other coaches out there, no one knows you. So you've really got to say, are you a startup coach? Are you a pre-startup coach? Are you a post-startup coach? Remember, startups could be 6 years old. You know, Satya is a startup. But look at the technical ability that he's got. I mean, he'd whip a coach, you know, as soon as he came through the door, because of his technical knowledge and years of experience. So again, just be unique in your specific arena. The world is so big. There's a great opportunity here, but just be very specific.
Yeah, very good point, Neville. Farida, you want to add something?
Yes. one of the things that I kind of feel that because there was so much of rush into this whole digitization journey, and everyone started offering courses, webinars, because like I said, perhaps that was time for them to start building their communities. But one thing which did not happen right, and I tend to agree with Neville, is that people who actually kind of reach out, they reach out to everyone instead of reaching out to a community where it will add value. It's like saying that uh, I have this phone and it has so many features, but it's not going to add value to your life, because if I am selling it or if I'm talking about it, I need to tell you what are the benefits. And that is a gap that I see very strongly, because everyone is selling what they have. They are not telling me how it's going to benefit me. So it becomes my journey and my job to figure out whether it's valuable for me or not. So it would be good if people who are offering this, because they are investing time in making the material, they are investing time in delivering this material, there is a lot of cost that is involved, they are investing resources. So why not invest in resources who understand which is the community to reach out to, and what will be the hook, how will they actually be able to engage, and in that manner create this actual community which can be commercialized at some stage.
Can I just jump in there, because you mentioned something really specific, and it's great because where have we got this as great examples? So let's look at you said phones. I've got a phone too. It's probably not exactly the same version of yours, and it does something different. But if we look at the specifics, let's look at the hotel industry. We know the difference between a 1-star, a 2-star, a 3-star, 4-star, and a 5-star. In the travel arena, we know what 1-star travel's like. In Uber, we get the choice of the executive vehicle or the cheap and cheerful vehicle or the mid-range vehicle. And we know what the value is to that. So we've got some great examples out there, and all we've got to do is say, okay, how do I fit into my industry? And I'm not saying 1-star, 2-star, 3-star coach, you're a 5-star coach. That's who you are. But where's your niche? Where do you fit in? Thanks for that, Farida, because it sparks a thought process. Hope that helped.
So I think thanks to Naval and Farida for summarizing the whole aspect around digital course, because it is also a commodity and it has to be positioned like a commodity to be successful. So I think one of the key here is, if I may summarize, Farida, is that you need a course. Obviously, you need a course. You need a flyer for that course, and you also need a teaser. So you have to release them sequentially like any other sales campaign that we do. So I think moving on to Satya. Satya, your product line is electric vehicles and the associated technology around electric vehicles. What sort of help you would need from the digital arena in terms of building your team skills?
Yeah, just I wanted to add a point to Novel's statement that actually, coaches required, create some webinars with a free and huge value. So when it comes to Indian market, actually, the reach of webinars is very less, it seems. Like I saw a few of the webinars, the attendees of the webinars are, very less. When it comes to, advertising this webinar to low level people, so it is not happening, one thing. And the second thing is, see, just you people are addressed about Microsoft and IBM. So those people just they are concentrating on their technologies. Say for example, Microsoft technologies are totally different from other technologies. So who is going to concentrate on other technologies? Just it is, see, say for example, now I require IoT people. So IoT with the hardware integrated, technologies I required. Who is going to do that? So people actually, small companies like me, just they cannot come and do that. So it is required, as Farida told, like there is a lot of orientation material and so much of background work required, and we required to keep a valuable coach for for these webinars. But when it comes to technologies, just people are like even Microsoft, they're only concentrating on the tools, how to use it, but they are not concentrating on technology, how to develop the tool. So those things required in India, particularly in India, so people are waiting. So those kind of webinars, because of that, actually people are not attending. Say for example, when it comes to university or college, on a technology aspect, people are not attending because so those lines of webinars are not required for them. So they require the technology sort of webinars, which is high end, and it should give a huge value to them. So then only they can afford their time. So the people that are company are corporates who are concentrating on webinars, they're required to go through the high end technologies. Just even right now, so when I go to Amirpet in Hyderabad, so people are interested only for a short term courses, not long term courses. So not ready to learn from basic. People are just wanted to complete the whole course, the Java advanced Java courses within a 15 days time. So some sort of webinars required in that way, and target that technology people or engineers are they need to concentrate on universities and pick the right people to teach them. And as Naval addressed, technologies, and they need to segregate the people and what level they require, what industry required. So those kind of webinars are
Yes, I think based on my recent study of the market, especially in India, by robotics in the area of space, because machine learning is what Satya is more concerned about, because straight away translate into his business. But these are the emerging areas, and a lot of agencies are now giving free courses. Like is giving a free course on robotics. So, but I think it's such a vast subject. So, Kanchan, my question to you is: these are the things which are happening in a large country like India with 1.3 billion people. People are more concerned about machine learning, aeronautics, robotics, space exploration. These are the emerging trends. And when we say, for example, some of the things that being talked about technical in nature, which is coding, let's say. So now these big guys are coming with coding courses, which even 13 plus with little aptitude can start doing coding. So application creation is no longer a skill anymore. So the skills which are required by a country like India these are the skills which are coming up. On these concentration of these skills which are not available.
So now the era has come that if you don't know coding, then you are nowhere. So as children they may know coding, the meaning of coding, or they may not know the meaning of coding. But they want is okay, because that sees the enthusiasm. Said that we should have a parameter stars, 1 star, So what I feel is that now it is very early to really segregate these type of coaches, because we have just started doing digitization, and we have started doing training on. So I think it's too early, but maybe down the line we may have these kind of coaches like used to have those coaches when we were going and studying face to face. Now coming to the technologies, I think machine what Satta is saying, that they require a specific skill like operation of the machine. So I think that is also we can teach very easily if we have a right type of content for that. So I think it's a good way to start. And what we require is that if we are talking about robotics, we are talking about operation of machine, that everything is possible via webinar or the courses. What we need is a right type of content and a right type of coach. And I think we are moving towards that, and many people who are coming, and it will create a lot of competition to really give more content, good content. And because content is the king, so if we have a good content, you will rule the market.
So I think in the end, Kanchan made a very valid point, is that you can offer your training for free or some value, but I think you have to have a meaningful course, and as Farida said, you have to invest time in making sure that what market needs, even if you are offering for free. And as Naval said, you can categorize them into different stars, which I actually enable is happening already. There is a company in India which is going to rate teachers. So the students will basically be able to.
There you go.
It's already happening. So I think it's time. The time is not even flying. It is just at light speed. It is going. So within 3 months, you will start seeing the rating system in India at least. And Satya, you said you would need high-end skills. So I think the free or paid, it doesn't matter to you. So it's better. I mean, as a company, you can pay for it if it means something to you. So any passing comments you like to give at the end of the program?
So yeah, if anybody wants to, the coaches or anybody require any inputs on a technology side, IoT or EV or MI or AI, whatever it is, we people startups, they're ready to provide a content, and they're ready to, give inputs what market needs. So any coach, they can, even a single star or 5-star coaches, they can, come and work with us, and they can take an input from small companies like us, and they can conduct a good webinars with the technology, and they can even we are ready to we are ready to promote the content or webinar to low people also, as small experienced people also. So we know where the gap is. So we know where the resource gap also. So we are ready to provide some sort of help, or we are ready to provide some sort of content which is required for the market.
So in the end, I will summarize the learning from today's discussion. One is the teacher should not give free. I mean, they can decide to do something for free, but that's only sales material for your course. And the real course has to have some value. You can decide whether you want to charge for it or not, because the value to the organization, to the end user, has to be there. So I thank you, team, for participating in this discussion. Naval, Satya, Farida, and Kanchan, thank you so much. We will catch up next Friday in another round of CEO Roundtable.
Thank you very much, CK.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.